You ever get those texts where you think to yourself, there's no way this is real? Like, hey, your name was drawn from a hat and you won a free month, or you won free personal training. No, I didn't. And no, I'm not replying. It's 2025. People aren't stupid. We know when something is fake, especially when it comes to our phone or our email. We're actually conditioned to ignore it. Automation fatigue is real. And that's the number one reason why your reactivation campaigns are probably falling flat. But here's the good news. You don't need fake urgency or gimmicks to book real clients. You just need to sound like a real human being again. Today, I'm going to show you how. I call it the leads method. And if you do this right, you'll be booking appointments that you haven't touched in months. Let's get into it. I'm going to tell you where this came from and why I'm even talking about it. Now, I've run this system across hundreds of gyms and hundreds of thousands of clients. And I'll be honest with you, I also have done it the wrong way. I follow the scripts from the so-called pros, the gurus, the ones with huge audiences and millions of followers, flashy offers and promises that their script is the key. And guess what? The advice, it usually flopped, primarily because the messaging felt fake. Recently, one agency that I came across, because it goes through my feed, relatively decent-sized name in the fitness space, calling it the Reactivation Bomb. I like the name. And the message starts with this. Hey, your name was drawn from a hat and you won a free membership or free insert, whatever. Seriously? Another agency, probably the largest one in the gym marketing world, you might even be following them. They use a reactivation message like this to start off. And I'll just read this for you. To celebrate one of our newest members losing 30 pounds in 8 weeks, we're giving away 10 free transformation passes. This includes a body fat scan, a one-on-one, a jumpstart walkthrough, and a $10 Starbucks gift card because everyone deserves a treat. Then they say, if you want one, just reply Y, meaning yes, like the letter Y, and I'll take care of you. We're busy, but I'll get back to you soon. Then 30 seconds later, after they write this really long message, by the way, I think they end up sending a couple more. Oops, sorry for the long message. Just wanted to fit it all in. LOL. Let me know and I'll set your pass and gift card aside. Come on, guys. It's not real. We all know it. That's a script trying to feel personal. And it probably doesn't sound like you at the gym. Your audience, they can see right through that, especially if they've ever been in your gym or they know other people that go to that gym or they even know you. It's not how you talk. So guess what? What happens? A lot of the people don't respond. Or if they do, even from the numbers that this really big group publishes, you're closing on average, they publish this, 0.58% of that list. So what do you think's happening to the other 99.5% of that list? Or 99.42%? Nothing. They don't do anything. They don't go anywhere. So here's what really kind of fired me up. We tested our own version of a reactivation campaign using real messaging, real dialogue. And let me be clear, your automations really should be automations to support whatever you're doing, not to insert and be the conversation and dialogue starter or the person that's having the dialogue with your customer. We ran it for a gym with 800 customers. By the way, we didn't even get through the whole list because we had to stop. They got too busy. We actually had to pause the campaign because they were getting too full. They closed 17 of the people off of their list. Okay, they had like 60 or 70% of the people responding. Within just a few days, they collected over $4,200 up front, and they added $52,000 to their annual revenue, to their ARR, just within a few days. It was like that. The only difference, they had real conversations with their customers. Surprising, right? So just let that sink in for a little bit. Like, how do you talk to people? The real problem that I see is that everyone is using AI for almost everything. And trust me, it's not, I use AI. It's not a big issue, but it's how you're using it and how you're applying it to have conversations with people. The bots, the workflows, the preloaded scripts. Like I said, I use those things. I love AI, but I use it as a support tool for myself and for my team, not to replace human beings, not to replace real conversation. Has anybody tried picking up the phone, maybe talking to some of your customers? I mean, if you feel that you can smell fake from conversations or text messages, guess what? Your customers probably feel that too. They sense it. And this is what's probably going to happen. Those messages, that 99.5% of the messages, the customers that you had, they're going to DND you. Okay. Do not disturb on those text messages. On the emails, they're going to unsubscribe. You're going to lose a lot of your list. You're just going to burn through them. It's like setting it on fire. And your list should be your gold. Okay. Even if they're gold, they still should be gold, but don't waste them. There's a lot of opportunity there. So if you've ever wondered why maybe your reactivation campaign, or any campaign for that matter, didn't land, it didn't hit, it didn't get people in, well, it's probably because it didn't seem like it was you sending the message. So here's how we fixed it. Now, keep in mind, this is, just what I use as a framework. You don't have to use the exact language. I just want you getting your head wrapped around it. And I call it the leads method. I gave it a name to make it simple. So that way you can remember, it's leads, and there's an acronym used for the naming convention of it and how you should structure your process. I use it in the gym owners that I work with and coach. I use it in our software. I use it with the trainers that we work with. So here it is. Leads. Okay. L stands for list. E stands for evaluate. A stands for activate. D stands for dialogue. And S stands for schedule. Let me break it down for you real quick. So your list. Start with your list. Anything you got, an Excel sheet, your CRM, your POS system, you got it on Post-it notes, you got it in your phone. Start with that list. Don't overcomplicate it. Get everything into one spot like an Excel spreadsheet: phone, name, email. Then you deduplicate that. What that means is you go through and make sure that everything is unique. So you don't have duplicates of the same person, right? Because you don't want them getting, double the text messages and emails. From that, you can go ahead and clean the list. You can use a tool called Never Bounce or Zero Bounce. And what that'll do is validate that information. So the phone numbers and the emails, it'll make sure that they're good. So that way it doesn't ruin your email reputation. It doesn't ruin your phone reputation. Okay. Because these networks, if you're sending out a bunch of text messages and it's going to the wrong place or bounces back, it's going to potentially blacklist you or, label you as spam when it comes through. It's part of the new regulations. Okay. And on the email side, same thing. If they see a bunch of emails going out and those don't actually land in the inbox, then you're going to end up getting thrown right into junk and nobody will ever see it. E stands for evaluate. Okay. So you want to look at the list after you've gone through it, look at that list, look at those names, see if you can recall anything if you can, and put down what was the reason that they came in the first place? Maybe you have an intake form that has some of that information, and that's super helpful. But try and understand what their initial challenge was. Why did they come in the first place? Was it weight loss? Was it, they were looking to gain weight? Did they have an injury? Were they looking for more nutrition support? If you've made it this far into the episode, thank you. I don't take your time or your attention lightly. So if anything that I've shared today has sparked an idea, challenged you in any way, maybe challenged your perspective on things, or just helps you see your business a little differently, I'd love for you to do two quick things. First, head over to YouTube, search Sweat Success Podcast, and hit that subscribe button. Next, please go to bizops.com. I've put together a handful of free resources there that you can download to help you grow your business, improve your systems, and create real freedom. They're all available right now. There's no strings attached. I just appreciate you being here. Let's get back to the show. You want to start segmenting this list. Don't pitch them on group fitness if they came in for one-on-one training or if they were just looking for a membership, right? Don't serve steak to someone who's looking for chocolate cake. Usually doesn't work out so well. The next one is activate. Now, you send your first message. It's not a script. I'm going to give you the script that we use, okay? But what you use is going to be a version of our script. So I use it more as a framework or a guideline on how you message. It's a structure. Say it your way, make it you, make it real. So this is what we use. Hey, first name, it's my name, right? So I'd say Michael at XYZ Gym. We're cleaning up our system and saw that you had some perks on your account. Do you want to use them or let them go? Or we say, or let them expire out. Okay, it's simple. It's honest, or it can be honest, right? You don't have to lie about this, and it opens the door. Now, I say perks because for every member that actually comes in the gym, we give them perks or a credit on their account. And then I can then use those credits as something that has value towards whatever it is that I want them to come in for. Typically, you'll see responses like this, and you'll get a really high response rate, especially through text message. They'll respond something like this: what perks? What do I have left? Is this real? Who is this? Right? You're going to see some of those things. So let's say someone said, what perks? Naturally, our response is going to be very human in nature. We don't automate these things. Okay. We probably could. You're not going to have every scenario built out in your CRM or even in the AI tool. Okay. Even if you trained an AI agent, it's not going to be perfect. So you need a real human to respond to these things, and you should want a real human to respond, because guess what? If they call, you have context of the conversation that just happened. So you can actually go into a real conversation because someone was handling it. So again, back to what perks? Well, it looks like you had some credit on your account. And I could even say, it looks like you had $100 of credit on your account from before. And this can go towards many different services within our gym. Okay, if I wanted to ask a question at that point, I could say something to the effect of, what have you been doing and what was it that you were looking for when you first came in here? That's if I don't know what they came in for originally, right? I didn't keep a list or some dialogue sheet on what it was. But if I do know, if I know what it was that they initially came in for, like let's say it was personal training initially, and I can say if my training sessions are like $100 a session and I want to give away 3 free sessions, I can say you have $300 on your account and you can use it towards any type of personal training package that we have, or you can use it directly towards personal training services, right? Or you can use it towards nutrition, or you can use it towards supplements. It depends on what the context is, right? The more questions you ask, the more information you get back. And this is real because it invites conversation. Anytime you answer with something, you want to ask another question. So question, answer, question, right? So that way the dialogue goes back and forth. That's how this happens in the real world when you have real conversation with real human beings. A lot of times, if you just met someone for the first time, it's going to be something to the effect of, hey, my name is Michael, what's your name? And then they're going to ask a question back after they've probably answered. Okay. It's that back and forth. It's to create dialogue. You should use this in text messages. Please don't use the automations like that. Okay, now once they say yes, because you're going to have a lot higher percentage of people saying yes, granted, not everybody is going to say yes to this. It's just that you're going to get a lot higher percentage, not 0.5%. You're going to get a bigger number of people wanting to actually respond to take advantage of the credits or perks that they have on their account. And if you're willing to do so, okay, depending on the type of business you are, if you have things in your business, I know plenty of gyms that have inventory of supplements that they need to get off their shelf, right? And you can also use that as a tax write-off because it's something that you've already paid for. So if you want to use this to give away supplements just to get people in the door because it's about to expire, do so. T-shirts. If you have merch, you can go ahead and give the merchandise out. Let them wear that shirt around. Parade around in your brand if that's what they really want to do. That's free marketing. Once they say yes to this, right? Once they agree that they want to use those, you just go ahead and book it. Schedule it. Make it easy. Well, what days do you typically come in? Right? You can do a choice or option close, right? Where it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You can say 6 or 7 p.m. work better for you, right? So do a choice or option close on the time so you can get them booked. And then once that's done, say, great, I've got you in the calendar. I'll go ahead and send you some information about the day that you're coming in. And I just heard this from someone, which I loved the other day, that they actually send them an email with a little video of where they're at. And the reason why I like this was because it breaks down the barrier and discomfort of them walking back in. It's been a while, right? Maybe they don't remember what your gym looks like. So they give them a little kind of like video tour, like 5 seconds, like, hey, this is the door that you'll be walking through. I'll be standing right over here. I like that simply because it just kind of breaks down some barriers of that discomfort that people might feel when they walk in. And I've talked about this before on other shows where a lot of people feel like when they walk into a gym that everybody's staring at them. So if that's the way they feel, why not just make it a little bit more comfortable for them, right? Make it more inviting. Give them a visual representation of what it is that they're coming into. So I did like that when I heard that from someone. But my point is you're getting these people in. So do the follow-up and do it the right way. Have real conversation. Okay, you don't need some fancy gimmick. You don't need Starbucks cards. You don't need to be pulling names out of a hat because who really sits there and writes names down on a sheet of paper, puts them in a hat or puts them in a bowl and pulls names, and then magically you're the one who happened to get that free membership. Okay, we know that stuff's a gimmick. Giving away Starbucks cards, writing super, super long text messages and then apologizing for it and not even giving time for them to respond. I think it's just the wrong way, I think, to approach business, especially people who haven't heard from you in months and you're just going to blast them, 3 text messages in a row. You need to show up as a real person, right? Be you, run your business, have conversation and dialogue. Message them the way that it feels most like you. Because the second you start sounding like a script, and yeah, I gave you a framework or a script, something that I use. You can use it too. That's fine. Just make it yours. Okay. But the minute you start feeling like it's something from someone else, all of a sudden it is from someone else and it gets lost. People don't believe it. What works is real connection. I think more now than ever, people are really looking to connect. They're looking to get away from the AI chatbots, the automations. They want to talk to real human beings. And I promise if you use this method, right, if you're scrubbing your list, you're going through, you're evaluating, you're trying to put some context around the person that you have on your list so that way you can have a real dialogue with them. You can offer things that are actually real, things that you actually would do for your customers anyway. if you use this leads method, if you talk like a real human, text like a real human, maybe pick up the phone and give them a call, not a bad idea, and you stop trying to sound like a marketer, you're going to get replies and you're going to get a lot more of them. Now, if you want help building this in your CRM, right? So you have some of those triggers where it's going to actually send you a note, somebody responded back, because we can start some of these things. We can start the message with your frame, with your message to get that question going. So that way they respond back. And then you have the automations to let you know somebody responded back. And then so that way you can start texting them. If you want help doing that, we do it for our clients every day. We'll help you clean your list. We'll help you write the messages that sound more like you. Okay. In your voice, we'll set up the right automations to support you, not the automations that do everything for you, because in my opinion, I don't think that's how it should work. And we'll even help you understand how you need to have the follow-up, like the language that you should be using in your style, in your version, the way you talk, to help get people in the door. So you can go ahead and book a call, just a quick strategy call, 15 minutes. It's in the show notes. And next time you're thinking about sending a huge blast to your list, don't, please. Send a message that starts with a conversation. Follow that leads method. Okay. Follow a process that makes sense, that's more human, that's more you. I'm Michael Benso, and I really appreciate you guys listening in and taking the time to listen to this whole show. If you find that this has some value for maybe someone else that you know, shoot this over to them. And I'm happy to get on a call with really anyone. My schedule's full, probably like yours, but if we can find some time to work together, would love to support you and help you out. Again, thanks for listening in. I'll see you guys on the flip side.